Welcome everyone to another edition of the Summit Tournament here. I'm going to be hosting today in a nice, wonderful little French countryside area known as Sainte-Marie-du-Mont. My name is Night Falcon. Happy to have you guys here today. Happy to have these teams both here on the cast. Been wonderfully lucky to have them before and wonderfully lucky to have them today. So we are a nice balmy 75 degrees. Let's say what, 20 degrees Celsius, something like that. I don't know. I operate in freedom units. But still, nonetheless, still here having fun with you guys in this matchup between Taco and SAS. A final, not quite the final round matchup here for them here in Group D, but really setting themselves up for some good opportunities here going into the final weeks. Who will make the summit? Who will make the valley? And who is going to find themselves on the outside looking in? That's what we have to deal with today. Just waiting for the teams to go ahead and get themselves all settled into the matchup and to get ourselves all ready to go. So keep a little bit of background music so it's not too boring while we wait for the teams to go ahead and get themselves in. Should be any moment now. But let's talk a little bit about what we are working with today. All right, let's go ahead and pull up our desktop. Look at the group standings for what we're looking at right now. So right now, Taco coming into this matchup, a record of 2-0. Perfect so far in group play with total 10 capture points. 9PZ also running in second place there, but SAS 1 and 2 eagerly looking to try to get themselves up onto that, to shore themselves up into that valley area. But right now, I mean, SAS running 1 and 2, looking to get 2 and 2 right here. 9 captured points though, so far so good. Almost capturing as many points as Taco, but kind of finding themselves on the wrong side of that. So eagerly looking to try to match up against KRRC. We broadcasted that one about 2 weeks ago. That was a wonderful matchup between the two. KRRC ended up winning that one, but it really came down to the last couple seconds. SAS had plenty of opportunities, plenty of good chances to go ahead and get in there, but unfortunately, KRRC able to get the final go on that. But nonetheless, that was last week's matchup. Here we are this week today, focusing on the dugout here on SMDM. Wonderful point layout, if you ask me. Definitely a little more Axis favored. So Taco coming in as the allies today. Going to be looking to try to get themselves into that cap fast to prevent any initial cap pressure that SAS might be able to get. Reason why SAS has a little bit of a cap advantage is going to be this row kind of houses here, gives them a little bit more cover, and then down along this section right here, there's some cover to help them get into the hard cap. And so if we pull that up, look through it here real fast, kind of see how it's divided out a little bit right here with that cover coming down the main road. And then of course the houses right here as well, giving a little extra coverage. Now, if you're the allies, what are you kind of having to work with? So Taco coming in has 2 main entryways into the dugout barn area from the front. Expect some people to go along map edge. We often see double stack tanks over here, whether it be for the allies or the Axis, or frankly both of them, at some time during the match, just simply because this area over here just ends up being wide open. So we'll be keeping an eye on that, seeing if there's any double stack tanks that like to go over there to try to strong arm their way down and try to control that map edge, because normally the team defending dugout here on the Axis side will have a garrison up right here in this area. The other way that they're going to look to try to get in is gardens. This is one of those key little areas, especially if we end up with a second point here for cattle sheds and between dugout. You want to be able to control this power corner to really launch a good attack towards the 5 points intersection, star, really however you want to go ahead and say it. Lots of different names, but nonetheless, 5 points looks like a little star right there. All those roads kind of converging right into that point. Some houses right there that you look to try to connect. Now, if you're coming in up against a team like Taco, SAS got their work cut out for them here. Why don't you try to make this go as long as it can to really show those other teams what you guys got? And so right now, you want to give yourself your best chance at trying to get in. So what you want to do, you want to come in and make sure you own dugout first. So you'll be coming in, bringing some people in down by lumberyard right in this area. And then you're also going to want to control that 5 points and AA battery right here. Now, Taco likes to get really wide, so I would expect to see some people out here by Pierre's farm, kind of watching an eye out in that area across the way. Because off the rip, they're going to do really well to try to prevent you from getting behind them. All right, we are going to be flipping here in 30 seconds, so we'll get this done real fast. But if you're SAS, key areas that you're wanting to try to control, whether it be Hamlet or it be the farmhouse over here, Hugo's farm, you're going to want to control these front door sectors right here. These points, if you lose those, make it really difficult to hold any of those points. Now, if it is Hamlet, you got to go stretch yourself out a little bit more, get yourself over by Warner Brothers, and then also prevent the wrap from getting around at SMDM. There's a lot of stuff that can happen down here. Drops, supply drops, airheads, whatnot, that can get people behind you. So you kind of have to really watch out for that. But nonetheless, should expect some good action here today between these two. I know I'm looking forward to it. I know both these guys all probably want to get out and done so they can watch some of the rest of the World Cup matches going on today. I personally have got the Netherlands versus Japan coming up here on my TV background here momentarily. Lived for a couple of years in the Netherlands and have adopted them kind of as my secondary team. So I'm hoping for them to be able to get that win over Japan today, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. They're favored, but we'll see. So hopefully all you guys out there are having fun watching the World Cup. As we get to those first group stage matchups here between you guys. Nonetheless, some fun and exciting times nonetheless. Okay, let's prep here for getting this all taken care of. We'll turn down that music. Get our PlayStation sounds up. get ready to go. We should be flipping at any moment here. Longest 30 seconds ever. Just kidding. I know as soon as I start talking about something, like it's going to pop up. And it will cut me off right in the middle of it. Might have had some little issues here. But for those of you guys that haven't seen, maybe this is your first time watching a Hell Let Loose competitive matchup, game mode that we were going to be playing today is warfare mode. Essentially what this is kind of a tug of war between these two teams. Each team starts with 2 points assigned and captured by their group with a middle point uncontested. So this whole middle section right here will be uncontested. It'll be yellow, kind of whitish when we pull up into here. Dugout right here. See, I told you as soon as I started talking. Just trying to fill the empty space. But nonetheless, as I was kind of saying, we're waiting here for people to go ahead and get themselves in. Once I get into a map, we'll be... All right, I'm good. Pick me. Good whenever. Thanks, guys. Wishing luck to both teams here. We're just going to go ahead and disconnect so I don't hear you. Kicked out of the squad, unfortunately. By roll. That's what we want. All right. So, as I was saying, initial cap sector right here, warfare takes place over the 4 grid squares around the point. Now, at the beginning of this match, you can see the only point available here is Dugout. Depending on what team captures this point first, they'll go ahead and either open up battery if it is SAS, or Hamlet if it is Taco. Now, in order to capture, you have to hold cap majority here for a full 2 minutes. That means you are capping at least one person extra inside the point. If you are here inside of the actual circle, that is going to be called the hard cap. That's what we're going to be referring to it as today. Where if you are inside, you do count as 3. So normally a person will only count 1 point towards capture if they're in the soft cap, 3 if they're inside of the hard cap area, and then if a reinforcement is down, it will add an extra reinforced point for the defending team, bringing their total count per person up to 4. So you got to have, it's all pluses and minuses here. You got to have more pluses than the other team inside of the dugout, inside of the point. And so once that team goes up, we'll go ahead and adjust the scoreboard here to get us out 3-2, and then so on and so forth until one team either owns all of the map, all 5 points, or until the 90 minutes is up. So that's a brief summary of what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to be trying out a few fun things as well. But we can see some supply drops already coming in. Taco looking to try to get themselves up quickly onto that area that we were talking about before in Gardens, with SAS already starting to drop around the hamlet down here in the bottom part. But now, as we are waiting for the last seconds to pull in through, let's go ahead and take a look and see how the teams are looking to open up. So we got a light tank over here, Stewart for the Allies, Recon Greyhound, 2 Greyhounds, the second Stewart coming out as well. For the Axis, we got 2 tanks coming right up the gut. The Recon all the way on the far side. Let's go ahead. We got some Stewie rounds popping out. No explosions happening yet. First, little red cherries, as I like to call them, start entering the fold here. No rocket shots going out from the other side yet. We did have the Stewart shot, though, from the Allies. All right, and we're starting to see those guys come on into the point here. Taco jumping out here, going very nicely into the farmhouse on the map edge, and initial cap pressure going in favor of Taco. They take control of the little trench right in front of Dugout, one of the key little areas for the Allies to go ahead and hold to try to maintain any pressure into the top portion of the hard cap. With an arty shell coming in, taking out one, so already on it here for the Axis. But right now it is all Taco here in the hard cap. It appears that this truck down here in the south was a little bit delayed. Has led Taco to be able to get a good cap advantage here over the initial cap here. Right now, you'd really like to see SAS starting to get up here into this little area, but unfortunately, they're kind of backed up into that, and the Taco attackers are really just kind of able to pin them down and keep them from getting across. But now we are starting to see some cap pressure here by SAS, finally able to get some people into that southern portion of hard cap. SAS very concentrated here on the hard cap. You can see they have started to get a little bit wide, and they have a little bit of work from different OPs here, but definitely throwing themselves all here into the hard cap. But it's left a lot of room over here for the Taco attackers to really launch off into that third, fourth point if Taco is able to get themselves on top of this initial cap. But for right now, we're still dealing with a lot of arty SPA rounds coming on in, with SAS owning a little bit of that initial cap, still going in their favor here, about 15% of the way. Pickle Rick being taken out here by and washed rug. I didn't catch the last one before you redeployed here. Ogerson trying to find his way into the middle of the hard cap here as Hood falls due to Rabo firing a little bit of his weaponry hot lead that direction here, but Ogerson able to stay alive here in the soft cap, just outside of soft cap. Hard cap. Man, my eyes are deceiving me today. SAS still putting pressure on, still owning this cap race as of right now. Down, so those who get motion sick won't be able to see the compass here under the scoreboard. Just like that, here we are seeing Taco on the brinks of losing this initial cap. So SAS really doing well to go ahead and put as many bodies here into the cap as possible. But a Taco wave now flooding into the hard cap, forcing the pressure to go a little bit more in their favor. Responding in kind to the heavy overload the SAS has put onto it, Taco appears to finally be able to stop it and move things back in their direction. With the redeploys here and the spawns, SAS just winning enough of the battles to keep themselves in it. Still ticking in the favor, back and forth real fast. Like it feels like I'm watching a test match or something like that. Screaming Eagle and Robo doing what they can to go ahead and stay safe inside that 3-story. Now, there is one spawn right here with F Squad. It seems like each time that ends up spawning off is when SAS is able to get a little bit more pressure into there, as we see the opening Lux. Fall victim to some ET here. Foxy going out with the flamethrower action, deciding it is a little too close quarters and wanting a little bit more of a scare factor going on here. But Foxy firing in the wrong direction as Ollie ends up pushing up towards him. Ollie does end up going down though, but the flamethrower pointing Builda to right where Foxy is. It's not enough. Foxy not afraid of him as he is able to go ahead and burn him up to a crisp. But Taco has successfully pushed this all the way back down, almost to the point where they are going to be on the positive side of this cap pressure. But a great initial cap battle going on here. The general needs to go ahead and keep this up as more and more grenades launching all the way around here. Taco knows there is something in the area. And if they can get rid of this, it'll probably seal up their cap. But so far, F Squad's doing what they can to get themselves all into the battle. Jackson moving up down the trench. Jackson able to take out the OP and the men. Opening up the way here, forcing all of the SAS attackers to come off of garrisons back in the southern side of the point, as they no longer have a presence anywhere near 5 points. With that, Taco will be able to concentrate their forces here, clearing out this southern section of the cap. Now, map edge, the battle going very well here for Taco, as they have pushed SAS all the way back down to kind of their final hedgerow here. Delman looking to try to get through and get some cap pressure and fire here onto the Taco attackers. Firing through, but it looks like Tank did not take too kind to that, as it appears he takes out his own guy as well as the SAS player. Red appears to be making the dive, but was taken out by Islander or Joey, one of the two with the crossfire. Just slowly and surely, Taco able to weed out SAS as they continue to slowly win single gunfights here. That's one of the hard parts about playing some of these upper echelon teams, is a lot of their players, let's just say they've been around a time or two, get a good number of kills. I know personally for me, we played 22nd, the team I play for. We played 6th yesterday and kind of went for a strategy of all in. Didn't end up getting that initial cap, which kind of let the door open for 6 to kind of just roll. We wanted to either win it quick or lose it quick. Didn't quite want to go a full 90 there. Nonetheless, some good spawns coming in, able to save SAS's pressure here, as they get a large number of Taco players off of the battlefield here. And through the spawns on their side, they're able to go ahead and get a good amount of pressure, but Taco spawning back in immediately takes over that cap pressure away there. Taco already up on the red-blue line, ready to launch onto Hamlet here. Gonna put SAS here in a difficult situation here. Taco now leads it 3-2, but I mean, look at that, a 10-minute, almost 10-minute initial cap pressure or cap battle. That's a good way to go ahead and get yourself started here. But SAS definitely not wanting to go down without a fight, as they have a very good line solidly driven across this road, which is going to make it very difficult for Taco to go ahead and get across these fields. Taco's main source of attack will be right through that front door, or even launching off of what H Squad is doing over here. But nonetheless, we can see Taco really getting that wide presence as we were kind of talking about. They've had to dedicate a few bodies back into Dugout to go ahead and finally get that cap. But now that they have it, look to see this line build up a little bit more with a few more little blueberries down the way. But let's take a look here, trying a few things out here on the Night Falcons. Okay. As far as it goes, points, kills, overall, not too different here. We've got total number of kills, 173 to 159 here. So Taco coming out and leading that initially, as you would see. But it does go to show how contested that initial cap was from the perspective of kills being relatively similar. Now, as we are looking at the total top 10 killers here in the server at the moment, we got Gamapede here leading us out with 13 kills, with Negan wanting to go 13 as well. So both players with a great rocket coming in. Jesus Christ, sending that right down. Taking out the truck. Very well done here. Already Taco launching a very good, strong attack down here as more and more people spawn as they have gotten a hold of this front door push here. Kimbo Slice trying to hold down the garrison as the rest of his buddies move on down into Hamlet. Bombing run coming in for the Allies. Sorry, for the Axis. Will it get this garrison? It appears that it is online. And it does. One of those last bombs end up getting it, but not before a garrison spawn wave comes on through here for Taco. With that, SAS begins to put pressure onto the mid-cap again as they're catching Taco in that pivotal push point here where they're trying to devote bodies forward to the cap on the 4th point. Now Stewart coming in well. We should see some heavies starting to roll up as we see one here for the Axis, for the Allies here, popping around Gardens. Axis Tiger already nestled up here on Hugo's farm. Nice little cover spot here. Keep an eye on that battle here momentarily as those appear to be squaring up here very shortly. Is that medium tank up on the God's Hill? It is still alive. I didn't know if that... A little explosion right there over by Faultine up there on the hillside is where that medium is. Right now, Taco doing very well to just really control that hard cap sector here. Prevent any SAS players begin. They've really done a good job at going ahead and clearing them out of this western side as well, forcing them really to come across a lot of open fields, and that is a recipe for disaster if you are the SAS side. Taco slowly but surely finding their way here into controlling this entire road sector in the front door area of Hood and Gunner Sergeant not that far away from each other here as they're running through the middle of the fields. Gunner, I believe, hears him. He does, but he's immediately taken out. Tailwag spawning right off the OP, being met with Mufasa's bullets and rounds. Major Hardpecker able to get across the entire length of the area. Will he be able to get an OP down? That is what we have yet to be determined. Right, we should be going live here on the YouTube side, so I'm just going to go ahead and make sure everything appears fairly. Appreciate everybody for tuning in again. I am Night Falcon here, bringing you this matchup here in Taco and SAS. Week before the final week of the regular group stage portion of the tournament here. Both teams vying for their positions, either the Summit bracket or the Valley bracket, coming up here in a couple weeks. Alright, it appears we are live now. It is running in order. If you guys do end up seeing any problems, let me know. I'm going to try to adjust what I can. But keep in mind, there is a 30-minute delay, so it will take me quite some time for us to go ahead and get there. But fix that for you guys. Make the latter portion of the stream. Ogerson able to take out Gunner with a quick flick on that. No doubt Gunner being a little discouraged here on how quickly Ogerson was able to turn and flick onto him. I can hear the accusations already in the chat. But at the end of the day, we know that, frankly, we just got some good shooters in here. All right, Mr. Castle appears to have found himself into a nice little area. Let's take a look and see what he's looking at. His eyes. All right. Also something wanting to bring into the Falcon Studios broadcast area. Oh, it's like that does not want to work, so... There we go. That should work. All right. found himself into a position where we aren't able to see too well. But right now, running with 12 kills right now, Mr. Castle, primary weapon of the Browning M1919, doing what he can to help his teammates from Taco advance down towards Hamlet down there. So go ahead and leave for just a moment. Thanks for letting us be our initial player spotlight here on the Falcon Studio. Hogerson's found his way all the way up into the front of the hard cap here. Finally taken out here. Must have been a little bit of a pain here for the moment for him to be able to get up that far. But we got some Taco players slowly gaining a little more courage here to try to get themselves down into the area across these fields. If we zoom out a little bit here and focus a little bit more on the overall look here, we've got this entire western road right here taken out by Taco, completely bisecting the SAS line here. Gonna prove to be a detrimental factor here for the Axis if they're not able to get down on this quickly, and as of right now they don't have a response to it. Jesus Christ, TJ and Barty Rose just trying to hold that portion of the road, but with a wave of blueberries coming up the way, it's going to be a little difficult here. Let's see what Jesus Christ, what type of miracle he can go ahead and open up. Fortunately, he is taken out by the first person he ends up coming against. As now Taco owns all the way to map edge. Everybody on the western side here forced all the way back onto Hugo's farm. It's almost like these guys here on Taco are playing this as their point. But we really essentially have gotten down into two separate factions of SAS, completely bisected by that push down that road there. And so with that, SAS bisected completely, leaving all remnants of the attack here focused on to about the size of a grid square. SAS still doing well to hold across the way here and prevent them from getting across these fields. And in fact, getting back up to the road, as we see a large number of red cherries here able to get themselves back up onto those defensive points. Stratiga taking out Bronco. But here's one of those things that you're seeing. Taco being very patient, not really letting SAS get across the road, but really putting SAS on the ability. They're making SAS make the push, which, I mean, from a perspective of being down to, but Foxy able to get behind and take out an OP. Maybe the patience wore off just a little bit here. Lost the number of little red blueberries here. Little blueberries. Taco got a little bit more aggressive, winning some gunfights here down there. Foxy, Major Hardpecker, Gunner Sergeant, looking to go ahead and holding that defensive posture here. See how Pickled Rick is doing here. Pickle Rick, unfortunately falling down here, but currently running with 7 kills, 15 deaths. So this eastern side has not been kind to him. Nonetheless, I'm sure we'll see him in some type of formed edition, whether it's Pickle Rick, back to regular Rick. That pressure starting to come in, but for the second subsided here as a giant, massive garrison spawn wave comes off the hamlet, but with balls going quickly to the rocket, able to go ahead and get behind it and take that out here, leaving no garrison on the point here for SAS, as more and more Taco people have heard the call and are starting to push themselves into the point. As the Panzer IV spins out of the way on the western side of the road, you're now left with a lot of SAS players trying to get back up into the pressure here. appears that we're going to have a bombing run coming on through with an airhead coming in for the Taco side. Bombing run just set to hit. Tailwag the dog, Rolo and Spear just about to receive it. The Tailwag inside of the area. Will he be able to stay safe? No. But Spear is able to go ahead and do it as that bombing run comes on through. Scratch that. Bombing run was for SAS. So taking out the airhead here, forcing more and more people off of the point, though. Might have been the strategy here for Taco. Kind of throwing up that Hail Mary. But at the end of the day, it's completely opened up the hard cap sector. Quick look at our top 10 going on right now. Egan got himself up onto the top there, 24 kills. This is now completely opened the front door here for the Taco attackers as they're able to come off that front door garrison. Garrison has gone up behind Hamlet, though, for SAS, which has allowed them to get themselves back here into the hard cap, but they are very much getting themselves on the back foot already here and losing more and more ground as this sector completely or continues to just kind of be heated away in this front door push all the way from Taco, just continuing to put in the battering ram right into the front door. Got the trolls on the other side for my Lord. They're smashing Wolfhead into the front door here, having their way with SAS. Now, I know those of you hardcore people will say, well, this is the actual name for it. I enjoy it as much as anybody. Up there. Forgive my ignorance. Cap pressure coming in again for Taco as they now move completely and encapsulate that hard cap sector. SAS, though, to their credit, still holding true here. Not giving up too much pressure as they continue to put more and more bodies here into the point. Now, looks like we have another bombing run coming on through here. This one going to be coming in for SAS. It had to have been a Taco one earlier. Had to have been. They must have just gotten a grenade out that took out that garrison, that airhead. That's one thing I really wish about the admin cam, is that it allowed us to get some type of perspective on who calls in. As it will end up getting a few guys right down the middle. But the thing about Taco is they are nice and spread out. Make it difficult to get all of them. So a couple falling through the way of the bombing run. But not enough to stop the cap pressure here, as it is now nearing about 30% of the way down here. So this eastern flank already here for SAS has now been wiped out. M squad for Taco has built themselves all the way down here, ready to get to the point of putting down a garrison should they cap this. Right now, SAS not sitting in a good position as they have two garrisons. They are both within the capture territory. We don't know if there's any supplies. That's something they don't show us, like the allies. But let's take a quick glance here at this sector right here. I mean, very, very nice looking garrison network coming in for Taco. Very little pressure whatsoever. Nothing being done to take those out in the back. just simply because Taco is owning that map edge to map edge. Really makes it difficult to get around them if you can't. Rocket narrowly missing Hood. Had no idea how that did not get him. Final spawn wave here right off the front door. OP. Not enough to go ahead and salvage any type of cap pressure. And with that, we are going to have Taco 4-1 here. Over Axis powers of the SAS crew. With that, no garrisons up. This is going to be an open door policy. Taco's going to be able to get a lot of room right here. They can get down and get these OPs up because right now F squad has one, N squad has one, but as of right now H squad does not have one. H squad does appear to be going up on a battle here, and yes, they did go up and did lose said battle. Tierney trying a way to find out and clear out that road, that hedgeway, but Zenith's Fury takes him out from behind. I think Zulu Sniper and Jesus Christ both have a little bit of a think side to give to him because I think he was right on the pathway to go ahead and take the rest of them out. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. Got one Tiger coming on out. Give a spotlight here to these guys and see how they're doing. Hawk. Looking for Hawk. Fast. Gunner. 16 kills. 3 deaths. Overall, not a bad showing here for this Axis crew. Definitely going to be a staple here as they try to get themselves in the point and defend like it's their last day on this planet. Man, I tell you, some days you feel it, and the jokes and everything kind of comes quickly. I'm having a hard time improving anything today, so I apologize for that. Not up to my normal standards here on the broadcast. Right now, looking at that line, the reason why I keep pulling up the map so often is to keep looking at this line here, as we do have a half track that's made it all the way back there. Taco already starting to get a pretty good box around the final point. Harrison has gone up in the south of the corner, but not quite to the point of being able to get that all under control as Negan's able to find his way up into the point, taking out that OP here on the front door. P4 trying to ramp up behind that repair station. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do it. Pickle Rick makes his way behind. I told you he'd be back. Nobody can kill Pickle Rick. And as we see it, after that initial cap, we have slowly and surely seen more and more kills going away of the Taco side as that gap continues to open up. Still holding well here between the two of them, 654 to 518. Artie is definitely going to be able to help out this front door P4, but Negan has his sights on him already. He's looking the wrong way, unfortunately, as now they are right up in the front, but it looks like Negan does not have another rocket. But he's going to be safe. Nope, he does have a rocket, taking him out. Negan with the shot here. Well done. Let's go ahead and take a look at the one-man wrecking crew. Phil's plot armor coming in through and strong. Negan right now currently running 35 kills, 20 deaths, and much to SAS's favor there, it appears Caster Curse did come into effect, taking out Negan. Artillery shell landing right on top of him. ending their little rampage, proving he does not indeed have any plot armor. He is just like everybody else. Taco slowly closing in the noose here as they're able to get down this front side. Really caused a lot of problems. One bombing run here on the corner, and it is going to be a difficult time. Recon plane going through, going to see all of that, and we will see what Commander Hound Dog 7 has in store. Plenty of munitions are available. Perhaps even a bombing run. Artillery combination. That could really do a lot of damage at this time. Ogerson playing it smart, keeping it slow, right in the front door here as he gets a shot on the Joker. Not able to take him out. .25 kills for the one-man ranking crew on the front door here, Ogerson. Taking out Simu. Go ahead and leave him to his advantage there. But Jackson and Hood have made their way all the way down the road. No cap pressure coming in yet for Taco, but that has very much opened the door. They are now starting to flood in the entire eastern portion of the hard cap. Jackson taking out an OP. Sumu. Sorry, I called you Simu earlier. Sumu. Taking out that pressure. Completely bisecting the line here. This Taco attack. Again, able to find their way into the weak spot of the SAS line. Flare going up. Couple guys showing that Tiger right in the middle of the hard cap. See a precision strike, potentially. Sir Hound Dog 7. Not using it quite yet, keeping it in the pocket here. SAS continues to hold on for dear life here. Every minute they can hold out against Taco helps them in their quest to get into the valley. Try to break out against any potential tiebreakers that could end up being placed on them and the other three teams vying for those positions. Tiger going a little more aggressive, finding its way into an attacking position. 76 staring him down right down the road. Precision strike coming in. Precision strike does get one of the tanks. Commander Hound Dog 7 was able to get that pulled on out. Hitting precision strike. Very well done here. Shout out 7 and shout out to the officer corps for getting such exact pings. Able to get that on. As a commander, that is everything in being able to get yourself those types of kills. General Chaos and Ollie both going for the satchel. Chaos gets it off first. The 76 taking away the fun for them, unfortunately, and killing his squad mates in the process. That after satchel blow up, unfortunate for them. I'll be sure to feature that one on this week's edition of the After Action Report. Your weekly recap of Summit action here. That one is held on Tuesday nights. It's going to be Wednesday early morning for many of you guys here. You'll have to catch it up Wednesday morning on your... We like to go over and spotlight each match, show you what the scores were. At the end of the day, we'll start being able to preview a little bit more of predictions of where the Summit and other areas are going to be going. Summit and the Valley roster. We are dropping a good amount of frames here as Washed Ragadin able to take out a giant OP spawn wave, and right now SAS in trouble as more and more tacos are popping right into the point. Reinforcing airhead is coming down, but I do not think it will be needed. This is all taco here at the very end. Spawn wave does come off though. How quickly will it be eaten up here by the taco attackers? You going. SAS players still staying up. Garrison's still alive. They get another spawn off of it. Negan, though, eyeing it. Negan taken out by the tank. Lux coming in, making sure it stays safe. How unfortunate that timing would have been if it spawned right then. Get any second now here. Wash be able to get a giant spawn wave. Wash with a whole bunch of cherries going on in front of him. He was not able to get enough, but took out a good number of them. As we have a bombing run coming on through the point as well. Can't take it home with you. Might as well get a double bombing run. Enjoy it, folks. Doesn't always happen so close to each other, but a double bombing run nonetheless. Shout out to all my millennial fans out there. Calling that back to the double rainbow life. With that, Garrison now down. Taco fully in control here as we wait the final seconds here of this matchup. Got to give credit to SAS, though, doing very well to hold out as long as they did. Offset points against a team like Taco, it is not an easy thing to do, especially when you're having to bisect yourself so much, get yourself so wide to prevent them from getting you too much. Nonetheless, it appears Taco in the final seconds going to walk away with this one. Talking about the final amount of kills here, team stats, pull those up here. 886 for the Allies, 688 for the Axis. SAS holding on at the very last moment here with final spawns coming in off of OPs and airheads. It is just a matter of time, but they are not going down into... They're not going silently into that night, giving it their all and trying to push as many bodies back here in the point. J-Squad able to make it there. Joey Bro, credit to him. Able to stem through the front line, getting a few shots here on some tacos. As able to do it as well, but is not enough. We have reached the chevron on the very end of the cap. Jackson just holding his pressure here. With that, Taco winning 5-0 against SAS. Appreciate you guys all coming out and joining us today. Again, my name is Night Falcon. Been a pleasure having you guys here with us. Any likes, any subscribes that you guys can go ahead and give the channel are greatly appreciated. We are just about to hit 700 subscribers here, and it goes a long way in helping the channel out. So it's fun if you're that 700 subscriber to be a portion of that. But hey, appreciate everybody that has done it. Welcome you guys all to the nest for another matchup here. Appreciate you guys all for joining us. Look forward to seeing how the rest of this group ends up shaking out here, but we'll have to cover that a little bit more come Tuesday in the after action report. Don't forget to tune on in. With that, we will see you guys next time on the battlefield.